And a very good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Championship Review. I'm Carl as your host. And we've got all the games from game 18 as well. We've got some key games, including Friday night's game between Oxford United against Ipswich Town, and also Kim Heller's first game in charge as Middlesbrough manager. They're at home to Coventry City. And Philip come out in his home match debut as well. Norwich City for QPR, and also Swansea City under Victor Matos in his second game. They were away at West Brom, and we'll talk about the lunchtime kickoff between Leicester City against Sunderland. Bristol City will away at Portsmouth, as well as Hull at the Bet365 Stadium at Stoke City. So let's get our guests on and say good evening to Michael and to Annie. Good evening to you, gentlemen. How are you both doing?
I'm not doing too badly, although apparently we must have been doing well to play Leicester at lunchtime and then play Bournemouth in the 3 o'clock kickoff, like Carl.
Oh, bloody hell. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to
You know
say.
what? This is what happens when I did present yesterday, and it's come up to
I was
Christmas.
just going to say, like, well done.
Apologies for the
We've
error.
won twice in a day, a 3-2. I'm very happy at that, like.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Well, listen, that's the rehearsal for the 20 podcast
That's
coming
fair
up.
enough.
So,
That's fair
but
enough.
how you gentlemen doing anyway? Oh, you good? Well, Annie, getting ready for the last couple of weeks before holidays, before you finish uni for the holidays.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Looking forward to the game here in 2 weeks' time, which I've tried to sort of ignore and not think about. But yeah, looking forward to reviewing round 18.
Absolutely, we've got 11 games to discuss, and also because Birmingham City are at home against Watford tomorrow, even at 8 o'clock. So we've got 11 games to discuss. But let's say good evening to our guest as well, who's making his debut here on the Championship Review. He's also my co-host on the Saturday show. Good evening to Stefan. Stefan, good evening to you.
Good evening, Cal. How we doing, boys?
Yeah, we're all good, thank
Not doing
you.
too
We're
bad.
all
Are you
good.
doing all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, not bad, thanks.
Not bad indeed. Good, good. Even though it was a disappointing game for you, Hibbies, early today against Celtic. But do you enjoy the game today despite the cold?
Um, Spells of it, I would say, not the whole entire game for obvious reasons. In that 2 minute spell where Celtic just romped it and scored the one goal after the other, that was a bit disappointing. But we actually got a far decision today, so that's also a bit of a triumph as well.
Yeah, absolutely is as well too. Yeah, absolutely. Especially despite the loss to Celtic, but at least he had decent spells anyway. But we're looking forward to have you on the show, especially your team is Wrexham. You start to
My
support them.
championship team, yes.
Absolutely, a championship team as well. So we'll discuss Wrexham in shortly as well. Let's go into the messages as well. Good evening, Jamie, who's a Sheffield United fan. Thank you for joining. Please hit that subscribe button,
Yeah.
hit for anyone any content
Can I
comes
just
up.
apologise to Jamie in advance for any snide digs I might make at Chris Wilder? Because if you're new to the channel, mate, I am not a fan of your manager at all. But I don't mind Sheffield United as a club. So just all get that disclaimer out of the way right now.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely. Get that disclaimer out of the way, and
yeah.
also good evening to Lee as well. Yeah, as well.
And he
No,
goes on
Lee.
the cloth.
I know, Lee. Not sure.
Absolutely
Oh,
as
nice
well.
one.
Appreciate it as
I
well.
bet Lee's loving life at the moment, and rightly so.
Absolutely, yeah. It's Do you know what? There's some mouthwatering games we could discuss, but there was so much entertaining games. But I like to start off at Middlesbrough, under the debut of Kim Heller, who started up, and Middlesbrough getting a 2-1 win against Derby. Borough went down 1-0. Unfortunately, Patrick Angerman scored, to give John Hughes' side a second-minute lead. But second half goal from Matt Target and Martin Wicker turned the game on his head. And that was Kim Hellberg's first win in the dugout as a Middlesbrough coach. And Michael, that was a result that was needed for Borough after, with Rob Edwards leaving, controversially for Wolves. There was questions of, when Kim Hellenberg looked like he was going to go to Swansea, but Middlesbrough picked. And do you think that was the right decision, going to a team that has got probably the squad to try to challenge the promotion race?
Yeah, I'd say so. And I think if you're looking at the size of the club, I'd argue Borough's probably a more attractive proposition than Swansea. Certainly at this moment in time anyway. But obviously Swansea have had their fair share of success over the years. I'll try and get my words out properly. But yes, I think this is obviously a pretty big job to step into, isn't it? And especially with the way that Rob Edwards left. And, there's a few, I know there's a few people really wanting Wolves to swap places with Middlesbrough now in the pyramid, which I totally understand. But as far as this game was concerned, I mean, obviously after losing to Coventry in midweek, although I know Kim Helberg wasn't in charge for that, but I mean, and obviously that's probably going to be one of the most mental games you'll see this season. The top two at the time going at it when it's 2-0 Coventry, Middlesbrough get back to 2-2, and then Coventry go, no, it's all right, we'll score twice in the last 5 minutes and win 4-2. So that's just the power they've got. So to respond from that was good, and remember they went behind in the first couple of minutes, didn't they? So and obviously that's the type of game that if you're going to beat anyone at the top is going to struggle against somewhat when you're sitting against a team and it's playing against a team that's going to sit on a lead, sit in a mid to low block, close down space, give you nothing to operate in and make it as hard as possible. And a John Eustace team who, until the last couple of a game or two, have been really banging form as well, actually, don't forget. So I think to respond from Tuesday for Kim Helberg's professional debut as Middlesbrough head coach, to come back and get a win. And apparently, obviously, Morgan Whittaker, Derby born and bred, from what the commentary said, scored against his old club. So, of course, that's the story and the narrative, isn't it? And he gave it a little bit of large to the Derby fans. So, anyone who likes shithousery will absolutely love that. And in other words, but he wouldn't know that because he's got a social life conveniently. So
it bigs up on his voice messages where we can't do voice notes in our group chat on Twitter, and he doesn't come on.
See, Carl, what you need to do, one of us needs to screen record all of his voice notes and then just play them on here.
Well, I can actually do that, so that is going to.
He's like, no.
I think we might be arrested for that.
I don't know about you lot. I can go hit it quite easy. So you lot.
Wait a minute. Where's the screen record option?
Listen. I'm not jumping over the bridge with you four. I'm defending myself to get away. So yeah.
Christmas whippers, Carl. Christmas whipper. There you go.
Well, that could be on that because I have thought about what I'm doing in the festive period because I'm going to be here. I might be doing after Boxing Day. There will be probably a slightly show because it's the Christmas week after the Boxing Day weekend games are coming up. So, yeah.
I was just going to say, what are you thinking of doing what are you going to think of doing for the Boxing Day fixtures?
I will be doing it because I'm pretty much like I said I'm not working around Christmas.
I'll be happy to join you then for that. To be fair,
especially it's a slightly show. Yeah.
Well, I more meant the championship review stuff. I mean, like, are you?
We'll do the championship review. Even though
you just do it on Boxing Day at 8:00 because Man United are playing Newcastle or something, and I think I'd rather come on here than watch them lot. So,
that's a fair point. Yeah, we have a Man United fan in this group. So,
oh gee, I wonder who that is, Mr. Will Still.
No, you're looking at it. He's below you.
Will Still loads of times, or Will Still have the aim for Will Still.
He's below you.
Sorry,
he's below you.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You were talking about Reece. Oh well, fair enough then.
Not Reece. Well, Reece counts.
I'll keep a keen eye on your game on Boxing Day, but let's just say that. But yeah, and I should say cheers for winning today for keeping Crystal Palace below us. I suppose that's one thing to put it that way.
No problem.
But all seriousness, yeah, I think. But to get back to Borough very quickly, yes, I think it's really good for Kim Helberg to start with a win. Of course, you want to and especially one when you're coming into a new culture and a new country, club, everything else. The Championship, as you guys know, it's a ruthless game in, game out, week in, week out league. So, yeah, very, very important win for Middlesbrough after what's happened to them recently.
Well, the one thing he has familiarised himself is the Teesside weather, and he did get that yesterday with that weather yesterday.
That's a northeast
as was mentioned in the EFL highlights last night. So.
Did you see the highlights of Sunderland Bournemouth yesterday? It was soaking. I remember I was at the game at the Stadium of Light when we played Stoke. You might remember this. Tommy Watson scored twice for Sunderland. That day it was Baltic. Yesterday put it to shame. It was hammering it down. So, and then I'm looking at, like, say, Bristol City's game at Portsmouth or something. I'm looking at the weather at Pompey going, how come that looks decent and up here it looks like it's going to flood?
I clicked on the Sunderland highlights and it was a 3:00 kickoff and it was pitch black. And I was like, is this at 3:00? Is there something wrong here? Yeah, but I think weather conditions up and down the country were
there was nothing wrong with your stream. It was something wrong with the weather, mate. So to get back on point, Kim Helberg, I think you're going to be well used to northeast weather soon enough.
Very
can I
only go up from here? Only go drier from here.
Yeah.
Can I just add on Derby? 0 shots in the second half. I get it. You're 1-0 up. You want to protect that lead. You want to make sure you don't go and concede. And John Eustace normally is very good at that. But yeah, it was just very, very passive, very, very just very uninspiring, particularly second half for Derby. And we're going to see a different Middlesbrough now from now on under Hellberg. It's not going to be the Rob Edwards be solid. Obviously, there's going to be emphasis on the structure and stuff like that, but it's not going to be that. It's going to be can you get the ball forward? Can you make sure the opposition's under threat at all points? So yeah, I'm actually quite looking forward to see how they adapt, because if you remember, obviously the completely different Middlesbrough squad now, but when Michael Carrick first came in, such a big impact, and they got into the playoffs as a result of that impact. I'm not saying Kim Hellberg will do anything of that nature, but he's got a good starting point, he's got a good base, and he's got a good team, and he's got some really good players. Hayden Hackney being the diamond in there. So yeah,
Whittaker's in form now as well.
Yeah, Whittaker scored a few goals now for Borough. And they've got a few players injured. I think Tommy Conway is their striker, obviously, but they've got a few strikers out injured. So, look, there's a decent opportunity there. The door is open for Borough, a team like Middlesbrough, and they're in a good position. And the tide is low. They've got 30 points. I think they're second after 18 games.
33 points, I think they've got.
Yeah, 33, 10-point gap to Coventry.
So 33 points and after 18 games, and we're typically looking at 2 points per game for around that for second place, and they're a little bit below that. So the gap to Coventry's there, yeah, whatever, fine. But tide is low for second place. So if Middlesbrough or any other team can cobble together a run,
second place is there to be got at, isn't it? So
yeah.
But I think it's just on to what you're saying about Derby. I think we probably have to cut Derby a little bit. It's like given the fixture that they're playing, given the way that Middlesbrough away when Kim Hellberg's first game, Middlesbrough right near the top of the Championship, and I know Derby have been on a good run, but I'm not sure. I mean, and you tell me if you think I'm wrong. Do you think Derby are good enough to go to Middlesbrough and try to out-football them necessarily?
Probably not.
No.
If it was at Pride Park, I could maybe get it, because home it can be a bit of a different location. But yeah, I think
that's not their game, though, Michael, is it? It's not used to this game.
So, of course, they're going to be more solid when they're 1-0 up away, a very, very hard place to go. And I'm trying to think, who's won at Middlesbrough this season apart from Coventry? Because I'm struggling to think of anyone, really. There might very well be someone.
There've been a few good teams, haven't there?
Has Millwall won at...
No, Millwall beat Middlesbrough at the Den. No, hang on. No, Middlesbrough beat Millwall at the Den.
Middlesbrough beat 3-0.
Yeah. Right. So anyone in the comments, check it up. I might be wrong on that, but
I don't think anyone has one at the Riverside apart from Cov.
There you go. Then, so I think that that would probably say. Look, but
no one, Lee's that point, yeah.
So I think if I think for Derby, look, there's no. I mean, obviously, you're 1-0 up until what was it, the 75th minute, and then you end up losing. Of course, that's disappointing. But at the end of the day, I think the main thing for them is those aren't the games that'll. If Derby are looking for playoffs, for example, then I think you can afford to lose away at the likes of Middlesbrough. It's just how you bounce back from it next weekend, and how when you're playing home games, especially, is what will define it.
Absolutely as well. Yeah, absolutely as well. Good win for Kim Hellberg in his first game as Borough manager. Let's go to another manager to get his first win as well, and go to Norwich. Norwich under Philip Clement.
They needed that
victory. First victory after they ended the Canaries' 13 winners run, their first home win of the season as well, beating QPR 3-1. Makonde scored in the 9th minute, and an own goal from Mbege, and Forster scored in the 36th minute to give Norwich the Canaries the first win of the season. And Stefan, we've known Philip Clement during his time at Rangers. This was a must-needed win for him, especially he's coming in. His pedigree's coming in a lot of huge pressure, not just for him, but also for Ben Napper, who is the sporting director at Norwich City.
I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I seen the appointment of Clement to Norwich, I was a bit surprised, really, because he could have gone anywhere within sort of Europe, but he chose to go to Norwich. He got them their first win for 6 months, I think it was, at home, which was a complete surprise. 3-1 against QPR, and they needed that badly, because even in the first 2 games under Clement, I still thought Norwich were the Norwich of old. Yeah, they maybe had a little bit more of a new manager bounce, we call it anywhere in the country, a little bit more attacking, but we still didn't really excite me until I seen the result yesterday, and I watched the highlights on the telly on Saturday evening. It just goes to show you can get sacked from one club, go into another one, have a couple of games, get your feet under the proverbial managerial table, get the players working for you, and hopefully Norwich can kick on from this now, but only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Michael, like I said, it's taken so long for Norwich to get that home win. Especially when players like Josh Sargent,
Yeah,
he's been scoring goals for fun, but for a team that's really been struggling at home consistently, do you think Philip Clement has got the X factor to try to get the Canaries out of that bottom half of the table?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, what are they, 4 points off 21st now? So
yeah,
that was huge in and of itself. I mean, obviously they got battered at Birmingham last weekend. So I think if you'd said four, I mean, given the fact that before this week they took 0 points at Carrow Road so far this season, which for a club like Norwich, who are historically supposed to be like one of the bigger, as in like the top end clubs of the Championship, that's just not acceptable at all. And obviously, I'll not give Andy the satisfaction of knowing that the former head coach that he may or may not have wanted to fail didn't get a single point at Carrow Road whatsoever. But it shows Liam Manning up really that I think Clement has got first two games at Carrow Road and he's already got many more points than Liam Manning did in about 3 months. So that says quite a lot really. But for Norwich, I think obviously, and it could have been sixth as well. We forget they were leading against Oxford until the 95th, 96th minute. So, but I think what was impressive about Norwich yesterday, certainly based on the highlights anyway, was the fact that went 1-0 up. Couple of minutes later, not even long after that, it was 1-1 straight away. And you can imagine their fans going, "What's the clip from Grand Theft Auto or whatever it is? Oh shit,
Here we go again."
Yeah, that literally would have probably gone through every Norwich fan's mind. But the good thing was, it's like two little spells of goals, wasn't it? Norwich took the lead, then QPR equalised it within a couple of minutes, and then Norwich's second and third goal were within a couple of minutes. Okay, the second one's an own goal, but I think you've got to. They do deserve credit for the fact they've managed to hold their nerve, hold their bottle, in a game like that where they really had to win, especially after not beating Oxford. So obviously good for Marcondes and Forson to get on the score sheet. Sargent, of course, got an assist for the third goal. So, but this can't be a flash in the pan for Norwich for the standards they should be. This has to be the start of a really, really good run. And remember, I think the Talk Norwich City lads were saying something like they've spent, £55 million in the summer? So to spend that much and find yourselves in the bottom three is criminal, really. This doesn't change the bigger picture for Ben Napper in a lot of ways, unless this appointment goes really well and they have to have a hell of a January in order to start to repair some of the damage that's sort of gone on. Like, if you look back to the summer when they had the controversial decision to sell Marcelino Nunes to Ipswich, for example, and obviously how much controversy that would have ended up causing. If that money is there to use, they need to go and use it bloody well, that's for sure. But yeah, good for come on, it's got to be the start of something.
If Norwich was to have a hell of a January, you put it, Michael, where could you see them ending up in the table come May?
Hang on, how many points? I was going to say how many. Yeah, playoffs is a bit of a stretch, isn't it? There's 16. If there was something like 10 points or less off the playoffs, I wouldn't have ruled out a run, but it would have to be a mental run to go and do it. Like I think, who was it? Was it Wait? Did Michael Carrick do something similar away at Middlesbrough in his first year when he started when they were in the bottom three?
Yes.
And they went on a mental second half of the season.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, he had the attacking talent then that you could argue Norwich don't have at the minute by comparison as a difference. But where can I see him finishing? Top half, maybe? It depends how good. It depends if they go on a really good run or not, or how big January is for them. The issue with Norwich fans is, has there been too many burnt bridges with Ben Napper over the last couple of years? In order to, because it's caused a lot of I've not seen one Norwich fan recently that has said that they trust Ben Napper to try and repair the damage in January. But I think the first and foremost, what they've got to do is get themselves out of the bottom three. Take it a step at a time. Get themselves out of the bottom three, and then try and start to climb the league. But make no mistake, the Norwich hierarchy themselves said at the start of the season, talking with supporters, the aim has to be top 6, and it's a failure if we don't get it. So don't get me wrong. Now I think they probably take survival, but that still isn't good enough, even if they do stay up. But the first thing to do for them is get out of the bottom 3. And to answer your question, Stefan, top half maybe. It depends entirely on how January goes for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe revisit this at the start of February.
I would say so. Annie, your take on this?
I was going to say Norwich's first win at home in 210 days, which is incredible.
Was that since they beat Cardiff at the end of last season, who were already relegated?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
On the last day. Yeah, unbelievable. I agree with Michael on the psychology point that we kind of hinted at, where, you know, you score and then you can see straight away, and it's like not again, like, can we just get a break? And yeah, they recovered from that. That's not a Norwich we've seen this season, where they've sort of crumbled under pressure way too easily. So that's a big positive. QPR are weird. I don't know what to make of them. They go on really good runs. They go on really bad runs. They're just streaky. And
didn't they do this last season under Cifuentes though?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
You know,
ever since they lost 7-1, they've been brilliant. And then last like few weeks, for a little bit of time actually, they've been a bit poor. And
They have. I think they lost twice, drawn one, and won twice. Especially the last game they beat Blackburn. It was, you know,
they need to find a middle ground at some point. I don't know. I don't know where QPR, and I'm sure they'll be incredibly disappointed they've managed to go and once you go 1-0 down, then you bring it back to 1-1 at a side that's been fragile all season, and you know that if you equalise against them at Carrow Road, you're going to have some sort of momentum shift and the crowd turning on the home team. That's really disappointing from a Rangers perspective. So, yeah, very good win for Norwich. Incredibly important. So incredibly important. They needed to win that, and they did. So,
absolutely. Yeah.
I think at one point during the day, they were 8 points adrift of 21st. So the fact that they've gone and won
they
that,
kicked off because of Sheffield United's win at Leicester.
I think it was whilst other teams were winning or other teams were drawing.
Yeah.
So other scores were happening and they were not winning their games. So the fact that they've won it, I think it's now 4 or 5 points, whatever it is.
It's 4 points.
4 points now. Yeah.
That is a big boost for them.
It is. Especially to get their first win at home of over 200 days. Yeah, it's vital. Let's go to another team that's got a new manager. There's still no wins for new manager Victor Matos at Swansea City. They were 2-0 up at West Brom before. What a turnaround second half performance from West Brom to win 3-2 as well. And Hegbo scored twice in the game. Malumbi scored the winner in the 85th minute. And pretty much, Annie, it says it all with Swansea's situation. Matos is still finding his feet, but it's not a good start for him in these early days as a manager at Swansea.
Yeah, 11 seconds in, I think Verpotnik scored.
Really good finish, by the way, as well.
Yeah. Literally direct from kickoff. I think that's just about summed up West Brom at that point. And then Galbraith scores a worldie of a goal.
Can I just interrupt you there, Annie, when you talk about that? We've got to appreciate the build-up to that goal is sublime as well.
That is... That's peak Swansea, isn't it? When Swansea are at it, that's what they can do.
That's what you stereotypically associate them with, isn't it?
Yeah, it's brilliant. But yeah, then it just all falls apart. All falls apart, and that's why Swansea are where they are in the league at the moment. Hegbo outstanding, and him and Madja, if Ryan Mason at any point can get them working together, oh my god, they're going to be hard to stop, and their goal scoring problems are going to disappear like that. And then Malumbi finishes nicely as well. We know Jason Malumbi's a good player at this division. So cracking win for West Brom, and I think it also points to the fact of these Albion players have not given up on Ryan Mason. They're showing the fight, they're showing the desire, they're showing all of that cliche stuff that we talk about a lot. Needed to sort of keep Ryan Mason in the job. And well, at full time, I think it was, you could see there were a few videos taken from the stand. Literally, a few of the West Brom players, a couple of them, I think Malumbi, one of them, went straight over to Ryan Mason and gave him a hug. And, you can tell there's that unity with Ryan Mason, and they stand with him. I think he just needs a little bit of time, and he needs a little bit of buy-in from the fans, because there were a lot of boos at 2-0 after the second goal goes in as well. So what a win for West Brom, and I think the fact they did it from 2-0 down to go and win 3-2 is probably more important than just, I don't know, winning 1-0 and doing it unconvincingly. The fact that they showed the character, they showed all of that to go and win that game from that difficult position, I think will do Ryan Mason so much good.
Absolutely. And Stefan, can I ask you this as well? Do you think, West Brom, they took a huge risk of taking Ryan Mason on, especially as a young English manager? Do you think it will pay dividends off towards the end of the season under him? Especially in his first managerial experience, he's had experience as a caretaker manager at Spurs the last couple of seasons ago.
I mean, I would like to hope so, because I always like young managers to be given a chance. If you've got the credentials to guide your team in a caretaker spell, for example, like he done at Spurs, on I think it was 2 or 3 occasions, he steadied the ship there, and then West Brom gave him a chance. And in the first few weeks of the season, I always remember this. It was 0-0 with Wrexham for a long time, and then all of a sudden, the Ryan Mason effect took over, the floodgates opened, and he got a well-deserved away win at the Stoke Ayers. So I would like to see Mason given the time at West Brom. I certainly know that English Championship clubs do tend to give their managers a little bit more time than Premier League clubs. So why not give him a shot? If he can start winning, turning things around, who knows where West Brom could end up come April, May. We could
Yeah.
even be in the playoffs. I'm not going to say automatic promotion, because to me that could be a step too far. But it all depends on January. And January, as we know, is just around the corner.
It is around the corner indeed. And Michael, where does Swansea go? It's 4 losses on the trot now. And I'm going to give the same question to you. Do you think Swansea will give Victor Matos that time, to try to embed his style of play in? Because that's another huge question as well for what's going on at Swansea.
I think for me that a lot of it depends on how much do they value championship status, because I couldn't believe I've just looked at the table. They're 21st in the division. What's not helped them is the fact Norwich have took 4 points in the last 2 games. Sheffield United have won, I think is it 3 in a row now. So
Michael, they were the worst team I've seen us play this season, and I've watched every single one of our games so far. They've been the worst one. They were absolutely dreadful.
is it a comfortably the worst one as well?
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday were close, but Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, but
So,
there's mitigating factors with Sheffield, isn't
yeah,
there?
I think if you eliminate that, Swansea, I think, were the worst by far.
Okay, well, if that's the case, then that's not... Well, all right, then. We'll talk about next games. You seen who the next one is? Oxford at the Liberty Stadium.
To win that.
Oxford at Liberty Stadium, then Pompey at the Liberty Stadium after that. They are 2 huge games. So, but,
if they get beaten on one of them, you're looking at Swansea as a real...
Yeah, you do.
concerned about them, aren't you?
Yeah.
They could drop.
Your question, Carl? Depends how much they value championship status. If they value it, which I suspect they cannot go down to League One, especially, I know they would have enjoyed Cardiff going down last season, but probably not at the expense of them risk themselves the season afterwards. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's gone if the results don't pick up, because you don't mind the idea of giving someone time, but you also don't want that to be at the detriment of you staying in the championship.
Yeah, exactly. Because spent a big money on Anthony Dyer as well from Celtic as well. It's
Yeah.
not been in goal. It's not even it's been struggling to get to get the goals at the moment.
And they spent big on Inusa. And, they've signed. I think they spent about 20 million in the summer, so they've spent a lot of money for a non-parachute team. Can I just go back to West Brom? I'll reverse on them. They had a really good start, didn't they? Opening sort of 5-6 games, so they've given they've given themselves a little bit of headroom where they can have a little bit of a dip and still be competitive and still potentially push for the playoffs. So if this does turn around, then maybe this is the catalyst now because of everything surrounding this win. they could go and really push for a playoff spot. And I think we can all agree the West Brom have got a good squad. They've got some good players. It's just about knitting things together. And the big problem has been going forward. I mean, just look at their back line. Nat Phillips and Chris Metham are very, very good for this division. Callum Stiles, very good right back. And then you've got Campbell as well as a right back. Sorry, Stiles left back. Campbell right back. You've got a very solid structure. You've got some good players. It's just about knitting it together, and that's what's been probably the biggest frustration with the Albion fans so far. It's just there's aspects of the squad just haven't quite moulded together.
Haven't quite clicked together fully yet.
But when they do, and maybe this is the moment that it does, they're going to be really, really good. Because West Brom in this division are always competitive, are always near the top. And they've got a good squad to do so anyway.
And by the way, as well, even after that win, they're only 4 points off sixth, which again is how stupid this division is. And I mean that in a good way. Stupidly competitive with how tight it is amongst pretty much 3/4 of the division.
Yeah.
Yeah. And exciting, though. It's exciting week in, week out because it changes.
Yeah, especially with myself and Michael went through that the last couple of seasons, especially, mainly.
And Danny as well, don't forget him.
And Annie as well too. We hope Annie will come on board. Hopefully next season. It'll be expensive with one of our teams. It probably be also Burnley. So
I can imagine Nanny's just going like, yeah, it's all right for you all as a neutral enjoying this league, whereas I absolutely hate it, given how quickly it changes and how mental this division is and how inconsistent it is.
After we lost in midweek, I looked at the table. I think we were 7th or something. We were in a decent position. And there was about 4 points down to 16th or 17th. And I was just like, oh, don't. This division is exciting. It's frantic, but I'm not really surprised. It's just this is what we come to expect from the championship.
Are you surprised though that none of the highest parachute club in the is 8th at the minute in this league though? The caveat is that's Ipswich, who have a game in hand on Tuesday at Blackburn. So if they win that changes and skews things a bit. But as of right now, they're 8th because I'm shocked at that.
Yeah. I know. Yeah, it is interesting.
That's probably why it's been so exciting, because all the parachute teams have been pretty terrible.
It's been unpredictable, hasn't it? I think that's the best way to put it.
Yeah.
Even if you ask the most optimistic Coventry fan, delusional diehard Coventry fan, I'm sure they got Hector and Lee in the comments. I'm sure if I'd said to you, oh, by the way, after 18 games, you're going to be on 43 points with a plus 32 goal difference, 10 points above second, 12 points above third, while at the same time casually 16 points above Ipswich, then 19 points above Southampton, 19 points above Leicester, and then, 24 points above Sheffield United. They probably would have won. They probably think I was high on drugs. So I think that, that's how. I don't think anyone could have predicted how this season's gone. So maybe apart from Chef Wed, unfortunately, but other than that, I think the rest of the league's just been. It's probably shaping up to be the most entertaining championship in the last few years, because the last couple of seasons it's always been one non-parachute team who does exceptionally, such as Ipswich in 23-24 or Sunderland last season. But in general, it's been the parachute teams right at the top because of the biggest sort of disparity between financial advantage. Whereas this season, you can't call it maybe apart from Coventry getting top 2, I suppose. But you're looking Middlesbrough on 33 points, and then even as far as Derby in 10th, there's 7 points separating them 9 teams alone. But then Annie will hate me for this, but say it's Bristol City in 6th, what is it? Leicester in 16th, 5 points. That's just stupid. It's mental.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Very
this
crazy.
Annie goes, can we shoot up 2 more places? Because if you finish in the top 4, you're more likely to get promoted through the playoffs.
You're less likely to do 6-0 in the playoffs, is what you're really clean up to.
We have the same or similar amount of money in Scottish football. Our championship would be the same.
Yeah.
But our championship is dull, it's boring, it's nothing like this.
No, exactly. Yeah, that's the difference between Scottish Championship. It's just not the same as it is as the English Championship. It's so dull.
I want to ask Stefan this, because I've asked you two this last week, and I want to see, all of you, I suppose. Is the Championship the most bonkers division in world football? The most ridiculously
the English one, yes. The Scottish one, no.
Sorry, I rephrased that. The English Championship, yeah.
The English Championship, yes. Because I can tell you the league scene in Scotland, probably the most bonkers one. I think Steph can back me up with this one. Maybe it's Scottish League 2. Because
Yes.
like you see the teas, because Edinburgh City was on minus 15 points at the start of they went into administration.
We're on
Then
-4 now.
yeah, exactly. They've now caught. They look like they can, because the season's still a long way to
They're
go.
going to catch up.
Yeah, they can catch up. Technically, could still be out the relegation battle. So it's all to play for. That's the only league that I know has been exciting here in Scotland.
Do you know what, to be fair though, right? Because Hector's put in the comments section where he said, "Wouldn't have believed you." His last comment. So there you go. Like that says you a lot. When as a Coventry fan, he have said like absolutely he wouldn't have believed it, and probably would have thought I was on crystal meth if I told him that Coventry were going to be 10 points clear at the top of the Championship. Even as, right, just an example, right? Sunderland are doing excellently in the Premier League, right? But I actually, as a neutral, probably prefer watching the Championship because of how. And I don't say I don't want to go back there, obviously, but I love the basketball nature of the division. I love how it's just insane. And the phrase "anyone can beat anyone" is literally never more applicable than it is to this bloody league. So,
I don't think you have anything to worry about, Michael. I don't think you're going back to the Championship, my friend.
I'll get another 18 points first, then I'll join that brigade. We'll wait and see.
I think
I know Carl's probably going to sit. Carl's probably sitting there going, "Bugger off, man! You're like 11 points ahead of us. You're not in any danger." But
I know that's what I'm thinking. That's my head right now.
yeah,
It's like,
I know, probably, but
man, you know.
Are Wolves even going to amass 11 points?
Listen, they're not going to get any close. They're gonna beat Derby's record. I can guarantee that's going to
I tell
happen.
you what, they're on course. I mean, even Southampton had a win by this stage last season, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah, they beat Everton, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like, Jesus, that's another thing. Like, if you told me we're going to be 20 points above Wolves after 13 games, I'd be like, so either we've done really well or they've done exceptionally shit. Probably the latter.
It's both. You have done really well, and they have done exceptionally shit.
Yeah. Do you ever think everyone's looking at Derby's points record and go, "Do we fancy beating it? Nah." And then Wolves are going, "Oh, go on then."
just for the fun of it. Just for the
hell of it. Why not? But yeah, joking aside, okay, well, Stefan, yeah, I don't think we will go down. But the point I'm getting at is, even as a neutral, I love watching the Championship. Absolutely. And like, for example, I love watching. Like, for example, when the playoffs come around at the end of the season, providing we're in a healthy position by then. Oh, Annie, you'll be top 2. You'll be second anyway. It's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, right, what meth have you been smoking? I'd like some.
Christ.
Well, okay. Yeah, well, okay. Annie, all I'll say is 4 points. Just saying.
I mean, I agree with you, Michael. I do love the playoffs. I love how it's structured, how it works. I love the £1 million game on the bank holiday Monday. I just can't wait for that time of the season, guys.
No, I can't wait for it. I think last season, I would have loved it had we not been involved in it. And I'm sure Annie would feel the same way. Like, we were both involved in it, and obviously it was like, well, obviously our experiences were obviously vastly different. But like, even in, like, say in 22-23, when we had Luton in the playoffs, I think that was more of a novelty factor because I didn't expect to be in there. So I was like, oh, well, I'm going to enjoy this. Why not? Whereas last season, I literally spent every single game going,
Yeah, you did.
No, they've not scored yet. Okay, it's fine. No.
Yeah,
So,
you did.
but this season, as a neutral, I will enjoy watching the playoffs for once.
Michael, you were in the playoffs 2 months before the playoffs even happened. But mate, imagine my fucking stress levels before every single playoff, sort of the running. Oh my god!
Yeah, no, that is true.
Yeah, we know.
We've been able to. I would say in that defense, we went like 5 games losing in a row, so like that didn't feel particularly good at the time. But
one of them was against us, right? As you remember, that game was honestly, my heart rate was on through the roof. It was horrible. I'd never want to experience. Obviously, it was euphoric in the end, getting in there. But
I can imagine that probably would have been one of your favourite games last season, fair, because it was beating a team that was in fourth, and it was a big moment for you to try and get into the playoffs, wasn't it?
I've got a poster of it up on the wall. Yeah, it's one of my favourite games in recent memory. Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
No, fair enough. So, so as a neutral, and I'm sure Carl feels the same way. Like, I love watching. Like, when it comes to the playoffs, I'll absolutely love watching what's going to end up happening in it, and it's the drama of the playoffs. Like, and remember, like, the Championship's got the richest game in football at the end of it, the Championship playoff final. So, obviously, myself and Carl have had different experiences of it in the last couple of seasons. So it's Annie's turn to experience it now. So imagine him if Bristol City get to the Championship playoff final.
I'll
Well,
be
I'll ask
in
Andy,
hospital.
this right then. So let's pretend for a second that the teams that are in the playoffs right now is exactly the playoffs at the end of the season. So for context, it's Millwall, Stoke, Preston, and Bristol City. Which
God,
is
Millwall away.
Millwall over 2 legs.
Good grief, no, thank you, no, thank you. Imagine, imagine that. Imagine we're 1-0 up after the first leg or something, going away to the Den for a second leg playoff
Under
semi.
Alex Neil, yeah.
No, thank you. No,
What?
thank you.
Let's skip over that. I reckon it would be a Bristol Millwall final in the Championship playoff. That would be good to see.
I've got one for Annie, right?
Can we stop doing hypotheticals?
Yeah, no, of course, I want to see a reaction to this, right? Would you take getting to the Championship playoff final right now if it was offered to you, but you don't know the outcome yet?
Well, yeah, obviously.
Well, exactly. You would say no.
Yeah. But the process of getting there is, oh my God, stressful.
Now, I know your experience wasn't good last year. Now, imagine how I felt after across 210 minutes against Coventry last season. I felt like across those 2 playoff games alone, I felt like I aged 10 years.
Yeah,
So,
actually, between the both of you, I thought Michael had it a lot more worse than you did, Annie. No,
well, I mean,
yeah, to be fair,
I was going to say I don't think I probably did because we got through in the end. Whereas at least
but it took at least 120 to down Ballard to score. It's so in the last.
Well, yeah, I mean that is one of the most
iconic
iconic moments of recent times when Ballard's goal hit the back of the net. But that was yeah. Sorry, Andy.
I do agree with Carl. My playoff experience was over after half an hour, so I was mentally checked out after. As soon as Rob Dickey gets sent off, I'm mentally checked out. So yeah, I kind of agree with him a little bit. Yeah,
it's a fair point. He's got at least he does have to not go through it again, as long as it's not Sheffield United.
If we genuinely play Sheffield United in the playoffs after if we get to the playoffs after the season after the start they've had, I think I'm backing it
in. You say that, but 10 points, and to be fair, all it takes is a good winning streak, doesn't it? So. I did say if Sheffield United got the I don't know if you want to talk about Sheffield United next. To be fair, to try and
I was going to say something because
I'll tell you what then. So, and since Ant's had a social life and he can't be asked to talk about Leicester and be a fair weather fan when they lose, I would say with Sheffield United, first of all, I've got to say, take out my feelings towards Chris Wilder. Fair play to them. They've gone away. So Sheffield Wednesday, obviously, but that's the Steel City derby. Derby games are different. They've obviously went there and won it they weren't great, but they didn't have to be. I thought they were comfortably the better team. They beat Pompey 3-0 in midweek, so 2 massive results for them. And say what you want about Leicester's atmosphere at the minute, but they went 3-0 up after 30 minutes pretty much. So that's a really good victory. And it makes you think, and we've said before constantly that Sheffield United's squad, when you look at what they've got, yes, I know losing Vinny Souza in the summer was massive for them, but there's no way that they should have been anywhere near where they are. And I could see Sheffield United maybe starting to rise up the league a little bit as long as they display a degree of competence about them. As long as they get a steady run together, I did say that I wouldn't rule out Sheffield United challenge for the playoffs at the end of the season, but they have to turn this into a prolonged run first. And also what's funny, Sheffield United won the Tom Cannon derby as well. There's only Tom Cannon back to his old club, but I've got to say, the state of the Leicester defending for that first goal, I couldn't think, no wonder Ant is checked out mentally at Leicester. If
but
that's how they're
he's checked out since all the way from last season, and he was still not
a year ago.
Yeah, exactly a year ago.
Yeah, so fair play to Sheffield United. What a great win! But I mean, and yes, I think, and also got to say, as a City Peck who scored the 3rd goal.
What a goal!
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to mention that.
Since midweek, he hasn't scored for Sheffield United since he started playing for them, and now he's scored twice in 2 games. So
yeah,
there you go.
# secret weapon. Peak. What is it? Peak Sheffield United or Peak Peck.
So Peak Peck. Yeah.
Like there you go. Sounds like one of those what is it? The Peck thing, meat thing that you put in sandwiches. Peak Peck.
And a good goal from Jordan James. I think it took a deflection, maybe not the deflection, but. Yeah, good goal from him. And he looks like a real standout for Leicester as well.
Yeah.
He looks like someone that's sort of all the crap that's going on there and all the players that sort of being targeted and blamed, accused of several different things. I think Jordan James is getting some credit to that.
A little bright spark in what's pretty dark time for them at the moment.
Absolutely, yeah. Stefan, can I actually do a big talk about it? Is Manchester United a lot more under pressure now? Is there a question about his managerial job on the line?
Sorry, Cal, could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, sure. Do you think Cifuentes' job is on the line now at Leicester after what's been going on?
Yes. And it pains me to say it because I do like Sheffield Wednesday as a club, but when they've been run into the ground so much over the years by the last regime, let's just say, it's inevitable, really. Sheffield Wednesday's championship
I meant Leicester
title.
City. Leicester
He's
City,
talking
mate.
about
Sorry.
Leicester,
Oh,
not
sorry,
Sheffield Wednesday.
I thought said Sheffield Wednesday.
You are
Yeah,
right on Sheffield, by the way.
Yeah.
Sheffield Wednesday is on borrowed time. Yeah, I'm on the fence with that one. Now I know you don't like people being on the fence, but I truly am with this one because he's had a few good games this season. He's had a few indifferent games, and he's had a few bad games. I actually quite like him as a manager, but I'm
Yeah, same.
probably in a very smallish minority that actually do now. But I think because it's the championship, could be another Liam Manning situation where he goes on life support for various weeks and then eventually the life support's going to be switched off. But of course, if Leicester were in the division above, he would be gone by now.
Here's one, right? Because Ant did put a tweet up earlier about because there was rumors online, as you get a load of rumors when your team's not doing great about that
Of
defender
course.
to be sacked.
Yeah.
But so the tweet he put was seeing rumors that Marty will be sacked, which is probably the correct decision. I just have zero faith in the board to appoint anyone who's an improvement. So I think that says quite a bit that if that's the feeling that then you're thinking they made a pig's ear of things at board level. And just to reiterate as well, we still don't know what's happening with Leicester. Somehow, we still don't know what's happening with Leicester via a points deduction or anything else. But I think now, is it -6 points that's been talked about with Leicester?
It's been -6 points and also a bit of fine of
Right, okay.
more than 7 figures upwards and stuff as well.
Seven figures.
I think this was. I think
Wow.
there's supposed to be. I think they're supposed to start the legal stuff this week coming up because that's when if it was going to for what they said for what they so
Right.
we'll know soon at some point within the next fortnight or so completely of Leicester's future because we got with like I say Johnny when Johnny's only around the corner, the transfer window's coming up, and especially you might have to sell your assets such as Mamadini,
Afterward.
and Fatu as well. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
Do you think
Mama
who's gonna?
Patson Daka, we would all need to go.
I think Ant would be bloody delighted at that. He really doesn't like Patson Daka, does
No,
he?
he hates him so
No,
much.
absolutely. But what I was going to say, well, the reason I asked that was because if, say, Leicester did get deducted -6 points,
Uh-huh.
it'd be 1 point above the bottom three. Leicester are 7 points above 22nd. So I think now,
Let's say you're right, Michael. Sorry. Let's say they do get into
we obviously
that
don't
position.
know yet. But go on. Yeah.
Let's say they do. Do you trust this Leicester squad to have that sort of endeavour and that fight to get out of a relegation battle? They have the quality, but we've
I
seen it
know
in
what
the
you mean.
Premier
It's
League
whether the
twice.
mentality's there. Yeah.
Yeah, we've seen in the Premier League twice now where they've been in tough situations in terms of relegation battle, and they've not come close once, and they got relegated the other time. So I don't know. Do you trust this? Do you
Questions
trust
would be
this?
asked, mind. I think there's a lot of questions that would be rightly asked about them because, like, if you look at the talk as much as we joke about Ant having a social life conveniently when Leicester don't do very well, which is still quite funny, and I think he would take it as a joke. But I think there's valid reasons for your concerns because, like, I'm looking at Leicester, and I think one of the reasons that Ant says he's checked out really is because he doesn't like the character. Seems the character of the players doesn't seem to be there, and they seem very unlikable. Now, I would worry about their mentality massively if they're going to be in a relegation battle because they might view themselves as, well, we're too good to be down here. But I'm like, well, that's where you are. Like, so if they get -6 points, I would. I don't know what you two
What
would.
I have been hearing, it might be maybe up to 6 to 9 points.
Well, that's even worse
Ooh,
then. Because imagine if a points deduction puts them in the bottom three, and then all of a sudden, but it may be it depends how they react to it. Because on the one hand, it could be the undoing of them. But on the other, it could be a potential wake-up call to go, well, you're not even safe. You're not even. There's a real risk you could go back-to-back relegations. And as us, Sunderland and Luton are the last two clubs to do it, but I can promise you, Leicester fans, it's not fun. I really wouldn't recommend it. So,
Absolutely, yeah.
really would not recommend back-to-back relegations.
Absolutely, we should get that.
No, exactly.
You should get that announcement of that potential points deduction either before Christmas or early New Year.
Yeah,
So
it needs to be settled one way or another, doesn't it? Because this is a cloud hanging over the club.
It will be a 2-day commission hearing this week.
So either way, so if it gets confirmed one way or another, at least then you've got the clarity of knowing where you stand and go, right, this is the card, this is what we've got to do to deal with it. Whereas just constantly being on there, like I think it's a joke how it's gone on this long. Like this should have been done really months ago, in my opinion. But I don't know how governing bodies work when it comes to sorting out points deductions and everything else. But yeah, it's just been one long legal battle after another with Leicester when it comes to FFP, PSR, whatever else it is, the Premier League, the EFL. So, So to answer your question, Annie, I'm struggling to make an argument to say I would trust their mentality if they did get a points deduction and get in a relegation battle. What do you think? Just like ask when he's eating something. Well, I'll quickly say, I would be concerned about them considerably if it got to that point. Right, so you go on. So I just make him talk while he's still eating a crisp or whatever it is he's having. Make him choke first.
Choke first, yeah.
The nice
Try not to die, you know.
the nice scripts. I would say the Leicester fans don't trust them.
Justifiably.
I mean, fair enough. I think that's pretty universally common in terms of an opinion. Could argue there could be a bit of a siege mentality after if they do drop into the bottom three after a potential points deduction. This is all very hypothetical, obviously. But yeah, I'm not trusting this Leicester team. There's quality there. I thought they'd finish in the top 6. I think, even with a points deduction. So there's quality there. I don't know how much you can lay it on Marty Fuentes. There's clear deeper issues at Leicester.
Yeah.
Ruud van Nistelrooy failed last season. Marty Fuentes is failing this season. Fuentes is a good manager. He showed it in the Championship before. So yeah, I don't know how much you can actually lay on his door. I think this with Leicester finally, they're a hot mess, and actually I don't think we realised how much of a mess they really are. And I think a lot of people were a little bit optimistic because we thought, okay, they'll get a points deduction. They'll probably mean they can't finish in the top 2. But they've got the quality to finish in the top 6. They do. So yeah, desperate times.
It's desperate times indeed. It is for the Fox as well. A good win for Sheffield United, to get 3 wins on the trot. It's been a long time since they did that for most of last season as well. So yeah, good win for the Blades as well. Let's go. Got a couple games left to go. Let's go to the Den. What a game between both Millwall and Southampton, and to get the Knights of winner from Tristan Kramer get Millwall winning 3-2 against Southampton. But what a goal the second goal from Millwall as well. It was unbelievable how especially when. I'd have to say, probably one of the goals of the season after the contenders at the moment, especially because, like I said, from Caleb Taylor, who scored that second goal. But Michael, it was a good end-to-end stuff as well. And your former manager, Alex Ray,
Alex Neil.
Alex Neil, sorry. I was thinking Alex Ray, the two Alexes, Alex Neil.
Yeah.
I didn't put you in both everything now because Millwall are only 2 points behind Middlesbrough for automatic promotion.
I'm not surprised. Put it that way. I'm not surprised that okay, if you told me that the parachute teams would have done as poorly as they have done, then I'm not surprised Millwall are up there because, look, obviously everyone knows my thoughts on Alex Neil when he left Sunderland to go to Stoke, and I'll never forgive that. But I would say, to be fair to him, though, he's a very, very good tactical manager at this level. He knows how to get the best out, sometimes out of limited resources. And bearing in mind, this is a cracking win because Southampton's been on a real roll recently. And the criticism with Millwall had often been their away form has been great. Can they sort out their home form at the Den? And if they do that, then they'll be a really, real good force to be reckoned with. So, are they punching above the weight? Yeah, I think they probably are. I think a lot of Millwall fans would say that to be third in the league, they would not have expected that. But when they've got someone like Alex Neil, I'm not surprised they're in the playoffs at the very least, put it that way. And as for this game, I mean, we forget it was 1-0 until the 71st minute, and then all of a sudden 4 goals explode in the last 25 minutes. Obviously, Adam Armstrong put Southampton ahead through a penalty before Aziz levels not long afterwards. The goal of the game, Caleb Taylor. The accuracy and the venom on that shot is just ridiculous. Fair play to them for that. But what was great about Millwall, from a Millwall perspective, is when Finnazaz levelled with a couple minutes from the end, they would have thought, okay, it'll probably peter out to a 2-2 draw. But Kramer at the very end, Tristan Kramer, I don't know how you pronounce that name.
Kramer, you got it, yeah.
Okay. Well, Kramer at the very end had other ideas. Obviously, it goes in off one of Southampton's centre backs, I think it is, on the goal line. But either way, that's got to be one of Millwall's best results of the season. Arguably the best result they've had so far. But yeah, Millwall punching a bit above their weight, maybe. But why enjoy it? You're what was it? 2 points off second, I think it is.
Yeah.
So no, do I think we'll get top two? I think the goal difference hinders them a little bit, because if you have a positive goal difference, often that's an extra point. But down the line, unless they start to really beat teams comfortably, I think that will probably hinder them a bit. But I think if you offered Millwall fans the playoffs, I think they would have probably taken it. And just to say, even if Millwall miss out on top 2 and get playoffs, Alex Neil knows how to win the playoffs. So don't bet against Millwall winning them if they finish in there.
Absolutely.
And you've got the Den factor for the playoffs.
And if they finish 3rd or 4th, then second leg as well.
Absolutely.
And the door is open. I mean, if you just look at Millwall's points tally after 18 games, it's not top 2 quality, but they're a few points off the playoffs of the top 2. So that again, I'll reiterate, the standard's lower, the door's open, the parity teams are not playing that well. When the iron is hot, strike, because this is the opportunity now to bang points, and this opening 18 games has been the opportunity. And Coventry have done that, Middlesbrough have done that to a certain degree. You go and bang points, you make headroom, you give yourself more margin for error, so that those parachute teams, if and when they do catch up to you, it's not a seismic sort of insurmountable lead you have to make up afterwards.
Yeah.
This is the moment for someone like Millwall, who are stable. We thought they'd have a good season. They have some good players. They have a good squad. Got goal scorers. They're good on set plays. Their den is a hard place to go. All that good stuff. Someone like Millwall, perfect to go and try and make a statement.
Absolutely. Stefan, do you think a lot of opposition teams are now having fear going to the new den now, when they're going against a hostile place, especially if they're thinking about, this could be a playoff team coming towards the end of the season? How are we going to deal with that atmosphere?
Yeah, I was just going to say, for me, Millwall's been thereabouts for a good couple of seasons now, hovering sort of around the playoffs. So it wouldn't be no surprise to me if Millwall actually swapped with either Wolves, Leeds.
Yeah.
Did I say it?
I hate to say that one. I know. Yeah, my rivals for that. Yeah, bloody hell. Yeah.
Or still possibly West Ham. Ooh.
Yeah, it's tempting.
What a swap that would be. I could see Millwall in winning the playoffs. If not this season, then definitely next season. Because the manager they've got, he's got so much pedigree. He's managed loads of teams, both north and south of the border.
Yeah.
He's got experience of the league. So, for me, Millwall should actually be thereabouts. And this season, they're kind of coming good. That's not to say they won't have the customary championship team dip that most championship teams do. But I'm sure they'll come out the other side and they'll still be around the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially
Can I just add on Stefan's point there? Because I think of Millwall's best chances this season, because I'm looking at next season. Yeah. Let's say, hypothetically for a minute, let's say it's Leeds, Burnley, and Wolves going down. All 3 of them will be mammoth at championship level next season, or should be, providing they don't do a Leicester or do a Sheffield United this season.
I think the team that could do Leicester is probably where Wolves at the moment with their situation financially as well.
I was going to say, but I think part of the reason they've appointed Rob Edwards might be that they might think they're preparing for the Championship next season. I wouldn't be surprised if that's in their thinking. So I'm thinking is Leeds and Burnley are both had recent. Say if Leeds and Burnley went down, both have recent experience of getting out of this division and getting promoted out of it. Now, say for example, let's say Carl won't want to hear this, but say if Leeds stuck with Daniel Farker, right? I wouldn't be surprised, and I'm quite surprised to be honest that Farker's not been sacked yet. But if they're sticking with Farker, I wouldn't be surprised if part of that reason is they're thinking, well, if they keep him, there's nobody better to get him bounced, to get him straight back up if they go down. Now, you can say what you want about Farker and everything else at Premier League level, but at Championship level, he gets the business done, doesn't he? So I think, even though you can obviously have criticism of him tactically and stuff like that, but if them three are there, I would expect them three, unless they are ran stupidly, which could happen, but unless they're ran stupidly, I'd expect them to be at the top end of the table. Then at the top of that, say if none of the parachute teams go up this season, you've got Ipswich, Leicester, and Southampton, year 2 parachute payment teams. Next year, if there's any degree of competence from them, that's going to be significantly harder, in my opinion, for non-parachute teams to go up this year. So, but having said that, there is no guarantees that they all will be competent, whoever goes down. And especially West Ham, if they go down, then they're going to have to cut cloth really accordingly there. And that could really affect them. But honestly, on another note, quickly though, could you imagine if West Ham avoided relegation, Millwall went up? Millwall, West Ham in the Premier League.
Oh, God, yeah.
Or even Millwall didn't go up and West Ham went down. Oh,
there's going to be banners again of Nuno, Millwall manager, legend.
Alex Neil versus Nuno Espirito Santo.
Yeah.
Oh, what a matchup.
Like they did with Aaron Grant when Aaron Grant got the sack and Millwall fans paid for the banner of the plane. And it's going to be that scenario again. Yeah, it'll be Nuno, West Ham legend. Thanks.
And just to add on to your point, Michael, if something stupidly does happen next season where it is Leeds, Burnley and Wolves that go down, I think with the parachute payments from the Premier League, they'll be straight back up. Maybe not Wolves, but certainly Burnley and Leeds will be in with a shout.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout.
Coming straight back up.
Yeah, is a fair shout indeed. It is fair.
That is the one thing, though, that I don't find fair about the championship system. That if you go down, you get this money so you can keep most of your squad that you had in the league above. And then when West Ham went down last time, they romped it with like 105 or 7 points or something like that. It was crazy.
Yeah, the problem is the system's broken, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. But I think that's the conversation.
Ignore the fact that my dog is always picking when I'm on a stream to want me attention. But
dog.
There you go. Come on, Luna. You're going to play with the toy down there. But yeah, no, I think Stefan's right. I think there's and this is part of the problem. So the point is, because of that, though, for any non-parachute team, this is your chance this season to
go
really
for it.
try.
Take it.
Exactly, because even if you go up and come straight back down,
you've got the money
loaded with that. So
you're loaded with
and you'll have a significantly better squad as well.
Yeah,
exactly. Because even if you look on paper, if you look at the Ipswich squad, for example, that went up 2 seasons ago to the one they've got now, on paper, the one they've got now pales that one in comparison for me. But there you go, it is what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I've given Carl a nice segue to Ipswich if he wants to talk about them next.
That is what I'm going to do, actually. You have to
take advantage of the segues. It's fine.
Take advantage
of that's good.
I have to. Yeah, let's go to Ipswich Town. They lost 2-1 away on Friday night at Oxford United. Perms lost Partridge's solo goal, in the second goal for Oxford, gave them a 2-1 win. Mark Harris scored in the 24th minute. Yeah, it's a crucial period for both sides, Addy. I'll come to you about this. And Gary Wright did not expect his side to get much out of the game, but they did, on Friday night. And that was a really huge win for them.
Typical Rowett. Typical Oxford. Sitting against a team, and I think Sky put up a graphic of Ipswich being top bet spenders and Oxford being one of the lowest.
If you compare the budget, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
just typical Rowett, isn't it? Sit in, get a goal, okay, concede, okay, disappointing. Go and now a goal on the counter attack. and go win the game. They played that game just about as perfectly as they could have, Oxford, and they got the win, which is exactly what they needed and what Doctor ordered, really, because they really needed a win. Surprises come against Ipswich, but Ipswich are faltering. They're not convincing anyone, and once again they've failed in a game where they should be winning. If we're being brutally honest, they've gone and failed. So really, really poor for Ipswich, because on paper it should be,
Yeah.
just look at the squads and the disparity in there. But fair play to Oxford, they were fantastic. They did exactly what they needed to do. They were never going to create 15 big chances and create a load of openings. It was always going to be getting fine margins from their perspective, and they won them. They won them, and they won them brilliantly. And that's what a peak Gary Rowett performance will look like. So Oxford needed to win a home game. They needed to, and they've got them in. They've got a sort of performance like that in them against a big team, a big scalp. They did it a couple of times last season. They beat Sheffield United, didn't they? So they've got it in them. Oxford. It's just about,
especially at the Cam as well.
Yeah. Can they do it more regularly? Can they put a run together? Can they get themselves away from the relegation sort of battle? And to be fair to them, they lost their first 3 games, didn't they? Ever since then, 15 games. They've got 18 points, which is fine if you're a relegation team. It's actually a bit better than what you need. So over the longer term, they've not been that bad. It's just been a lack of sort of consistency from Oxford, which has been really sort of, I'm sure, frustrating from their perspective. So I'm sure they'll want consistency, and they'll need a little bit more if they are to sort of push themselves away from this relegation battle, which is, I'm sure, what they want to do.
Can I just add to that as well? Sorry, the last 3 games, they've had some pretty good results, I'd say. They drew against Middlesbrough at the Kassam, and then obviously they went away at Norwich, which is a crucial, which it's embarrassing for Norwich to say this, but it was a 6-pointer, and they managed to avoid defeat, then beat Ipswich on the Friday night. So I think if you'd offered them 5 points a week, 8 days ago, or 9 days ago, I think every Oxford fan would have taken that.
Yeah, and on the flip side, you've got Ipswich, who is the parachute team from last season, and they're underperforming.
Yeah, that is a huge question with that one, especially with that, Stefan. Do you think Kieran McKenna's been so distracted with the links that was to Celtic the last couple of weeks, and do you think that's knocked him back a bit, especially when it just had a good decent run in form? There was unbeaten till despite the distractions that he was on a shortlist for the Celtic job, which is not going to happen now. Do you think that's been a bit of a dent, on the sidetrack while his team have had to play catch up?
I think he's definitely had his head turned by the Celtic hierarchy in the Celtic job. I definitely think so. Because when you looked at that fixture on paper, and if you had a coupon on, you would have easily thought home banker, Ipswich win all day long against Oxford. So I think over the last couple of results for Ipswich, who are meant to be the parachute team in the division, they're not performing to the level of a parachute team. I would say that certainly in the consistency standards, I know I was pure cheesing when Wrexham managed to get a draw against the old Tractor Boys themselves. So if a team like Wrexham and Oxford can draw and then beat Ipswich Town, then Kieran McKenna's definitely had his head turned, I think, and he's not fully back in focus yet
No.
to the Ipswich job.
I think a big factor is also, though, when Ipswich came up last time to the Championship, there was a level of unpredictability about them. There was a little bit of a, guys, they're just taking the league by storm. And every time a team played against them, there's a sort of feeling like, oh, they've just come up from League One. We can beat them. They're not that good. They've just had a good start.
Yeah.
You're wrong. They're a good side. But now they've come down, most teams, especially at Portman Road, will just be like, okay, let's sit.
Low mid-block against them, won't they?
Let's sit. Let's see what we can do on the counter-attack. Let's see what we can just nullify Ipswich. And they're struggling to deal with that, I think, because they're not obviously getting as many spaces. Leif Davis isn't having as much joy. Obviously, he scored against Oxford, but I think there is that level of that unpredictability that McKenna had when they initially came up. I think that's gone. Obviously, conversely,
Oh,
when in League One, sorry, Stefan, when in League
all right.
One, they were the big team in League One,
Yeah.
but they still blitzed everyone in League One. So I don't know. Maybe they need to find what they had in League One in the Championship to go and.
I
Sort
mean,
of,
it's tough to find formula on repeat. I get that, but teams will go to Portman Road now thinking we can take them. This is our cup final. We can get points here.
Yeah.
Teams like your Oxford, your Swanseas, even maybe as well, could go there and cause something of a shock if everything was to fall right on the day. But that's football, I suppose. Football is unpredictable until you get out on that field and actually start playing the game.
On the other hand, though, after they play Blackburn in their game in hand on Tuesday, their 3 games afterwards are Coventry and Stoke both at home, and then they go to Leicester. So it could be a big game mentality. Those sort of teams, especially, well, certainly Leicester away, Leicester would be expected to come at them and have a go at them.
Yeah.
So I'll be keen to see how they get on against the teams that are, well, one of the fellow year one parachute teams, but also 2 of the top 3 or 2 of the top 3-4 in Coventry and Stoke. So it might, but I mean, but the weird thing is, if they beat Blackburn in their game in hand, then they're only 3 points off second, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
crazy. But that's what we mean. And that's why everybody loves the championship, just because of the craziness, the unpredictability. Because one week you could be in 10th place, the next again week, if results go your way, you could be 4th, 3rd, 2nd.
exactly,
It's one of the
absolutely
best.
crazy, bonkers, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. It's so crazy. It really is. We've not got at least 5 games left to go, and let's go discuss a good win for Hull City after they had their bit of a blip. Joel Gerhardt scored a winner in a 2-1 win at Stoke, but what a goal
Well,
from
Johnny.
Stoke Thomas! The volley in the 70th minute. But as I said, for Hull, Michael, it was. I think Joel Gerhardt came earlier in this week. He's happy at Hull. He doesn't want to go back to Leeds after there's a recall clause in his contract. But I think, like we talked about last week, the week before, he sounds like he's not happy to get that winner as well in the 90th minute. That's huge for Hull, especially they had a bit of a 2-game losing streak.
And again, shows this is peak championship, because Hull could lose 2 games on the spin, go away to Stoke, who I think have only lost to Coventry at home, I think, so far this season before yesterday.
Yeah.
And they end up coming from behind, by the way, to a fantastic goal from Sober Thomas in the first 70 minutes, by the way. Fantastically hit goal. But then you're looking at Ajayi, who obviously equalised not long after half time, and you know what is, obviously Sunderland had Leeds on loan from Gelhardt. That makes no sense. Sunderland had Gelhardt on loan from Leeds, and I think as well for us, like we said, for us, he was signed to play up top with Ross Stewart, really, but Ross Stewart got injured, so it kind of hampered how he did with us, even though I liked him personally. And I'm really glad to see that he's actually seems to be settled enough, because by the end of the season, he'll have been at Hull 18 months on loan, pretty much, through 2 separate spells. So, but yeah, fair play to him, really composed finish, and it looks like he's found somewhere that he's comfortable as well. So, obviously, I think next summer, the main thing for me would be if Leeds and Hull could find an agreement to have Hull sign Gelhardt permanently. But I've got to say, for Hull, though, like I've said, that is a brilliant win. That's a brilliant win away at Stoke, who have been one of the surprise packages this season. Mark Robbins has done a tremendous job there. And to be 1-0 down at half time away from home and come back to get 3 points, it's fantastic. I think they've won back-to-back games at the Bet365. I'm sure they have.
Yeah,
They
they
won
have.
their
Yeah.
1-3-1 last season, I think, because I remember watching it. So, all things considered, yeah, I think. But again, like we said, with half of the league, Hull's now is it 7th in the table, which just shows how close and mental this division is. So, but yeah, from Hull's point of view, they couldn't have ended the week any better anyway. And I'm very happy. And on a personal level, I'm extremely happy for Gelhardt as well.
Absolutely as well. And Stefan, look, we've whole the last couple of seasons when they had Liam Rosenior at the helm, they were in the playoffs at the time, and the owner made some mistakes of bringing consecutive managers, after Rosenior, bringing Tim Volta, and then Ruben Says came in to steady the ship a bit, and he got sacked as well. And then now. Can they not? Are you hopeful they're not going to repeat the same mistakes as they did a couple of seasons ago, where they are challenging for the playoffs this time?
And again, it's that question. Time. You need to give your managers time. I know there's certain owners of football clubs, Watford being one, that just like to play manager monopoly every 6 months or something. They like to
Head coach roulette.
change from manager and play manager monopoly, head coach roulette, whatever you want to call it. And I thought Hull was going to go down that route as well, but hopefully not with this chap, because he seems to be doing quite a good job. They're just off the playoffs. They've been in and out a bit like a proverbial yo-yo so far this season. They've been up, they've been down, they've been
Yeah,
roundabout. But I think if they can stick strong, get a little run going, get that consistency build up, again, you could see them in the playoffs come into the season.
yeah, absolutely. With Serge Yakovic, yeah, he's especially
Just to be
his
very quick
first,
on Stoke, sorry, Carl, by the way. But yeah,
yeah,
no concerns for them. They're still well in the picture. They're
Oh
still had
yeah,
a fantastic start. They've just got to make sure they bounce back from a defeat like this.
I
yeah,
mean,
absolutely as well. Yeah, as well. But I think Sergio Yakovic, especially his first spell in English football as well, I think the ownership of Hull have got to make sure if he's the right man, because yes, he's on a 2-year contract, so is he going to get a perfect extension if he keeps Hull consistent, getting close to the playoff run, because they can't go through another summer again of upheaval again
No, they
later
can't.
next summer
That
again.
nearly relegated them last season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Hands
do,
on that.
do you know what I would say if I was a how high ranking I was hiring a manager? I would say if you could get us to the playoffs or thereabouts and keep us there for at least till at least April till we know everything's safe and tied down, then we can talk about your extension.
Mm,
I'm not going to give you any earlier. That's your incentive. Get us in the playoffs properly, tie everything down, lock it down, and then we can talk about your extension.
yeah.
If we don't win the playoffs, we take it on the chin and we rebuild and go again. But I think owners of championship clubs really do need to start backing the manager, the coaching staff, head coach, whatever you want to call it. We really need to start backing them because models like Watford and um, Swansea, for example, Hull in the last 2 seasons, it clearly doesn't work.
No.
It clearly doesn't work.
No, especially Akun Ikali, who's the owner of Hull. He's thrown a lot of his money, and especially when he bought Fabio Carvalho from Liverpool a couple of seasons,
Yeah, exactly.
and it just didn't work anywhere. He wanted Hull to be more attacking. It can't be so much more attacking in the Championship, especially when your team was close to relegation last season. So that he has to learn from the mistakes of not doing this, to try to have a bit of sustainability and stability to make sure you get the right players at the certain times, and especially like Joe Gerhardt, who's going to be there for 80 months by the end of the season. That's something you need, a consistency. A player like his caliber in the Championship can score you goals.
Which in turn increases better results as well if there's more stability and more consistency for
Yeah.
those behind the scenes as well.
Can we just give Hull? Can we just give Hull some credit? They've been brilliant this
Yeah.
season.
Oh,
They've
yeah,
been fantastic.
that's,
Absolutely.
that's what we're saying. They have
Giving
been
Hull
good.
credit. Yeah,
Like I said, this is a brilliant result for them.
I mean,
It is.
the scoring goals are fun. second highest goal scorers in the league behind freakish Coventry. And despite that, they've still got a neutral goal difference, which tells you all about their defensive worries. But they're brilliant going forward, and they're doing this without McBurney as well, who's not playing, who's injured. So there's a lot to be optimistic about. And Mohamed Baloumi got an assist. He's well and truly back. Baloumi, he's a fantastic player. Miller, I don't think played. Liam Miller. So look, they've got some attacking quality. They've got John Egan and Semi Ajayi at the back who are very experienced. Louis Coyle as well. Ryan Giles' attacking quality is outstanding. Obviously, there are some weaknesses in that whole team. It's not perfect, but if you consider the fact they had an embargo in the summer, the summer recruitment's actually been pretty decent. It's been better than a lot of Championship clubs who've spent a lot more money than Hull. So it's shaping up to be a pretty exciting season for them. And maybe the fact that they were forced in the summer to maybe look at some English talent who were available on frees or on loans might have actually helped them in a way.
I mean, Hull does actually have one thing that no other Championship club has. A Hull City FC speedboat.
That is true, actually. Yeah.
Yep.
Forgot about that. Yeah, that's true.
I've actually seen it. It's quite smart. I'm not going to lie. I like it.
Hope that speedboat will help them get into the playoffs, because that's what they need right now. But they have to slow the speedboat down before they go too quick to get back to the Premier League. So
Yeah.
we'll hopefully we'll see that speedboat in the foreseeable future. Let's move on. We've got at least 4 games left to go. Let's move on to the game at Hillsborough. Preston were 2-1 down by half time. They won 3-2 at Sheffield Wednesday. Like I said, Preston had to come twice from behind to get their first win in 4 games. But it was a huge win for them. But Sheffield Wednesday had good chances, especially, with Charlie McNeil could have gotten a hat-trick, but he's probably saved in the second half.
Yeah, and Bailey Cadamartri missed the one-on-one as well. So Sheffield, this is an opportunity for Wednesday. It presented itself quite nicely. They had a lot of opportunities. They scored twice and got done. They missed the penalty, and then a few minutes later, Mads Farokkia put it into the bottom corner. Lewis Dobbin is a quality player. He's a very, very good operator at this level. And very good win for Preston. They scored 3 goals away from home. Obviously, caveat being it is Sheffield Wednesday, and unfortunately, that's the tone we're going to be speaking at whenever someone does beat Sheffield Wednesday this season. It's okay, but it's Wednesday who are really struggling. So a good win for North End keeps them in the playoffs. Top win for North End. They needed that. They really did. Because they drew at Watford, didn't they?
Yeah.
And what was their result before that? I'm trying to remember.
So I think the last couple of games,
lost to Blackburn, didn't they?
Yeah, lost to Blackburn, drew at Millwall, and then beat Swansea, and then Southampton before.
So they needed to salvage this week a little bit. 4 points is not the worst return in the world. You can have that every so often. So good win for Preston. Probably deserved.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Michael, Sheffield Wednesday, we know with the situation. Hopefully, things will probably be resolved with the manner of with the situation. The administrations are still waiting. There's probably up to 5 prospective buyers who will get the funds. Can we see the salute? Can we hopefully see something, even though they're going to go down? But can they salvage something for the rest of the season in the Championship?
I think the main thing they can salvage is getting a win off the pitch, really, which is obviously on the pitch. Maybe just try and keep things as respectable as possible. And in general, the players have done that, I would say, this season so far. They have generally done a very good job of keeping things on a respectable playing field. But if you look at, Mike Ashley's one of the proposed form buyers who apparently reportedly put a £20 million bid in.
Yeah.
We know what he's about, don't we? But I think... Can they say something off the? I think just as long as they're still in games and they're competitive, I think that's the main thing for me. And the main thing I think their fans will say is that they just got to look ahead to next season, too. And again, like we said at the start of the season, and Sheffield Wednesday fans really shouldn't be having to take one or the other here. But I think they would have took relegation if it meant that a good owner actually gets a hold of them and Chancery's finally gone.
Absolutely as well, yeah. So as well. I'm going to leave Annie and Stefan's team to the last two, as I would do usually. Let's go to
Ant's favourite team ever.
Ant Favourite team, Coventry City, since he's not here. Like I said, good response for Coventry after they went 1-0 down after 30 minutes from Harvey Nips. But again, Ellis Sims, scored 4 goals in the past couple of games, guys. And
Josh Eccles as well.
Josh Eccles as well too. Yeah,
goals.
Yeah, what a week has been for Coventry to win at Borough and then to come down from 1-0 down and to win 3-1. What a weekend it has been for them.
And to come back from 2-0 down to beat West Brom last weekend as well.
Yeah.
Although obviously West Brom, Malumbi got sent off, obviously the caveats there, but they've played West Brom, they played Middlesbrough, they took 6 points from those games where really they could have afforded to probably lose at Middlesbrough, for example. But, I mean, what is it? They've scored 10 goals in 3 games, and I've just looked at the table that they've scored 50 goals in 18 games. 50 goals? What is Coventry's catering staff feeding these players? I don't get it.
It's obviously what Super Frankie wants, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, I would imagine so. And to be fair, and I've said before that it's good that Lampard's getting a bit more respect that I think is than what he was deserving more respect than what he was getting in the past. Whereas I think this time, take out the fact that Parachute clubs haven't done as well. That cannot take away from how good Coventry have been.
No.
43 points after 18 games, 10 points clear of second, 12 points clear of third. And I think it's something like 16 points clear, or is it 17? Points clear of the nearest Year 1 parachute team. That is an insane effort. That is absolutely ridiculous in a good way. And I mean, Charlton, to be fair, obviously gave him a scare. Obviously, Nibs put them in front and from inside the first 13 minutes. But obviously, fine. Okay, Annie, a mini scare then. And then Coventry turn it around and go, no problem, because Coventry, the confidence they've got going forwards, they've got the ability to outscore pretty much any opposition at the minute.
They're flying. They're flying.
Yeah, exactly. They're just on a different planet, let alone level, I think, at this point. Eccles obviously gets a really good finish. Not long before half time. Ellis Sims, of course, gets a finish at the near post before half time. And they go in 2-1 up. And then obviously from there, while it was 2-1, Charlton obviously in theory would still be within the game. But obviously once Sims put them 3-1 up on the 76th minute, it was pretty much game done then.
So I should see they're flying, apart from the little blemish we had on a certain Friday night.
Yeah, against Wrexham.
Thing is, they've lost one game this season, right? Which is in itself, they've only lost one game, and even then, the opposition have had to score 3 goals to beat them. So, on that evidence, you need to score 3 goals at least to beat Coventry this season, which is just ridiculous, isn't it?
On the night when Coventry were off it, they still scored twice, didn't they?
Yeah, and they missed chances, didn't they, Coventry? So they're mental. I think we just rinse and repeat this conversation about Coventry each and every time we come on this show. It's just the same things. That they're really good going forward. They win loads of games. They win every week. It's just about
I bet a certain lesser fan, Chris, so with his response there. Good evening, Chris. Hope you're well, my friend. Yeah, but with him, the situation. Well, listen, we don't want your manager. We're not going anywhere near it anyway. So though with the situation what's going on at Leeds, I wouldn't touch Cifuentes with a badge pole. So yeah.
How about Steven Gerrard or Brendan Rodgers?
Oh,
there's been links with Brendan Rodgers and also been recently.
I wouldn't be overly convinced either.
Him and Big Ange are the 2 names that has been linked, and I think actually talked about that. So
imagine that.
I would not be keen on Brendan Rodgers going down to Leeds. I'm sorry,
Carl. No, I know. I'm the same as well. I'm in the same boat with you, Steph.
I wouldn't be overly keen on Gerrard either, if I'm totally honest.
No, Gerrard's lost season. Yeah, I think he needs to prove so. He needs to do what Frank Lampard does: go to a championship club.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think but as I said, to make it on Coventry, I mean, every Coventry fan must be an absolute cloud 43, let alone cloud 9. given how many points they've got. So, like, and by the way, and effectively they're on 44 points, plus 32 goal difference. And for context, the team who's got the second best goal difference is Stoke, 12. 20 goal difference between the team who's got the second best goal difference in the league as opposed to Coventry themselves. So, yeah, it's just been insanely good. And I think it's safe to... And again, another thing is, Coventry need to be in, I think, for around 90 points, I think, probably. And it might be less than that to get you top two. But
we're going to smash the 90-point mark. We're going to finish
that's
with
what I was gonna say.
100 points. Easy.
Well, I was going to say, well, even if you look at just 90 points, Stefan, they're 2 points off halfway. And we haven't even gotten anywhere near halfway through the season yet.
They're there. They're practically there.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I think even over the next few weeks, they've got, I think it's Southampton away, they've got to play Ipswich twice as well. So they're going to be they're going to be very interesting games. But what they've done is they've done so well, they can afford to lose all of them and just go, like, well, we're still going to be in a really good position because even if Ipswich and Southampton beat Coventry, I don't trust either of them to match the sort of run Coventry have done. So, it's going to be a really fascinating way to see how the season goes out. Are we a little concerned about Charlton at the minute? I know not on the basis of this game, but I mean, like, having lost the last few.
Is it 11 goals they've conceded in last game? I would say they have faced some tough opposition. They caught Southampton at a horrible time. They played away at Stoke, which is also not great. Yeah. I think it's more of a concern in the goal-scoring department. They aren't scoring as many goals. I mean, they were never completely free scoring anyway. That seems to have dried up, and Nathan Jones is changing things up top. He's trying to do different things. They have a lot of injuries. I will say that. They've signed Jerome Roussillon in midweek, before actually on the Friday before this game. So they have some injury problems. Amari Bell went off injured in this one as well. He's had to change shape quite a few times. Nathan Jones. This is like a 3-5-2. Against Coventry, so it's not sort of stable and not sort of predictable for Charlton, which I'm sure is what Nathan Jones would like, and that's what he had in League One last season. There's a lot of chaos. That might be a bit extreme. There's not a lot of stability at the minute in terms of the team selection, which I'm sure is what you want. So I think we can give them a free pass this week, but they've got Pompey at home next weekend, which is they need to win that. They need to win that, and they should need to show a little bit of what Charlton will. What we saw from them pre this week.
Yeah, that's a huge game for them against Pompey next week, and a huge game for them as well with that one. I just, like I said, they do. When you go against the Coventry side, I think, like I say, Charlton's not won at Coventry. I looked at the head-to-head; they're not won there for a long time. So it is, in a way, this was a free hit for them because they were not going to win that game. But
I think the fact that they took the lead is doing a lot better than a lot of other teams that have come up against Coventry.
Exactly, that's true.
You're doing well.
They're done really well, actually. Let's come to the penultimate game and start at the Stoke K Rask ground. Raskol, I call it the racecourse ground. It's still
racecourse is fine.
Fair enough. And listen, Wrexham extended a beating run up to 8 matches after drawing 1-1 against Blackburn. Andre Gudjonsson headed home his 5th league goal of the campaign on 13 minutes, and then to the 95th equaliser for Matt Clareworth to give Wrexham another valuable point. And Stefan, a couple of weeks ago, we spoke about Phil Parkinson on here, that his future was on the line with Wrexham after the bit of their poor start, as well. Is things a lot more stabilised now with them being on a good run and they're not too far from the playoff picture?
Put it this way, for me, the table is looking good. The threat of instantly going back to League One seems to have disappeared for a little while, which is nice because every time we play, we always score goals. We very rarely don't score. Even if it's 1, 2, well, let's just say between 1 and 2 goals per game. Now, I know we have had injuries, but the goal from George Thomason from the corner, for example, sorry, Annie, was absolutely amazing. And to beat
I think that went down as a Radek Vitek own goal, but
to be sort of playoff hopeful in Bristol City, when you're like 13th in the table, it's a confidence booster, and that's what we're seeing. Get a couple of wins under your belt, and things change dramatically. No more so for Phil Parkinson, who I think over the last stretch of games has saved his skin. Because I thought after 5 years of Parky with 3 back-to-back promotions, I thought that was going to be it. And I thought they were going to bring somebody else in and they'd have to get used to his style of play. Now, when you've been used to one manager for so long and their style of playing the way they work, yeah, it's good for League 2, League 1, whatever. Is it good for the Championship? Is it good enough? Right now, at this moment in time, with the way the table looks, I say yes. I say Wrexham, fair enough, we might not squeak playoffs, but if we can consolidate this season, next season, the season after, whatever, then make a push, it's going to be all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, any guys want to chime in, Michael, Annie?
Can I just say, when we played them in midweek, I was really impressed. Actually, I expected this sort of constant direct long balls, Kiefer Moore, knockdowns.
Kiefer.
Actually, it was a lot more than that. They controlled the game really well. I thought they actually utilised a lot of their pitch really well, and that was without a few of their better players unavailable as well. So yeah, Issa Kabore being one. Lewis O'Brien maybe.
Lewis O'Brien, he's been on the bench a lot, but he has been injured a lot as well. Yeah.
Kakache wasn't playing. So basically, they had a lot of players who I'd assume would be in their starting 11 not available to them. Callum Doyle as well. So yeah, Wrexham are a good team and they've been on a really good run. And they've been putting up 2 points per game, win draw, for a while now. It's like 8-9 games. So
yeah,
they're moving upwardly nicely into the sort of region of the table where if you get into a good run and if you're in that part of the table, sort of come the run in, and you just put together a little bit of consistency, you will make a real push and you might well get in there. So. Yeah, I think Wrexham have got the quality. I think they've got the players, and they've got stability in Parkinson as well, which I think we probably didn't talk about as much. Where they had so much churn in the summer. They brought in a lot. They got rid of a lot.
40 million it was we spent in the summer.
It's practically a new squad. Having Parkinson there as someone who knows the club, knows the owners, knows some of the players that were there from obviously League 1, League 2, National League, that sort of era. I think we sort of maybe have underestimated that just a little bit. So, yeah, he's proving us wrong, isn't he, Phil Parkinson?
He is,
and I'm glad as well because I think he's a very sort of likable guy, and I want to see him succeed at Championship level. So
I think we all do as well.
Yeah.
We all do as well. And especially, I look at the match stats on here. Actually, Wrexham have gained 8 points from a loser position compared to Blackburn's 4. And Blackburn have dropped 11 points dropped from a winning position, Michael. And it's the same thing as what Wrexham done. But Wrexham have done quite well to gain the points from a loser position in the last couple of games.
And that's what I mean. If you're going to be in a hunt for the playoffs, then if you're constantly gaining points from losing positions, okay, you don't want to keep going behind, but if you're gaining points from losing positions, it instills confidence, and it means the more confidence there is, the better you play, the more stability there is, the better you play. So I was someone who I thought, like say with Stefan, that when Wrexham got into the Championship, that I thought that some point down the line they would have to get rid of Parkinson if they wanted to get to the Premier League. But I mean, and part of me still slightly believes that. I'm not sure whether he's going to be the person who's going to get them over the line. But saying all of that, though, so far he's done really, really well, and he's got them on a really good run. And look, he's had the back, and of course he has. But just because you get the money and spend the money doesn't automatically mean that you're gonna blitz everyone. If you want to look at squads, again, look at the parachute teams this season. Had more money than anyone else, and the highest of them is eighth in the league in Ipswich at the moment. So I would say, from Wrexham's point of view, that's a really, really good stat to have, that the amount of points they're gaining from losing positions. As much as for Stefan's heart rate, I'd imagine he preferred they didn't keep going behind. But, as for Blackburn, yeah, they're weird. Like Andy said with QPR earlier in the show, Blackburn are effing weird. I can't get a handle on them at all.
It's freaking weird at the moment.
Because at home, they are turgid for the most part. And yet away from home, they're probably one of the best form sides in the league. And I can't get it. And I watched them against Preston just over a week ago, and they were really good, actually. Deserved to win the game. So, yeah. But Blackburn, I mean, a point at Wrexham, I think, is a solid result for Blackburn. It's just the manner of it probably would have been disappointing. But yeah, I don't know. So Blackburn, I can't make a handle on. Wrexham keeping themselves in fine nick to try and surge up the table to the playoffs.
The manner in which Blackburn was to go in the dying seconds would be very, very disappointing as well. Very disappointing, because it came in from the corner, it ricocheted about, Broadhead had the shot, and Cleworth just stuck his leg out and went, "I'll have that." And it goes. Now, if you've defended for 95 plus minutes, and you lose a goal like that, it must be sickening. It's got to be gut wrenching, because they thought, "Oh, we've got 3 points here," and then all of a sudden they were pegged back with seconds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially the holding that lead for most of 85, 90 plus minutes. Yeah, so to go to the man of that, it's disappointing. It's very disappointing.
Because Good Johnson scored in the 13th.
Yeah, and good. And do you know what? Especially when you're a son of a player like Ija Good Johnson, it actually they wouldn't be surprised there'll be one or two small Premier League clubs to look at him if he could be consistent, because that name has got pedigree. If he can match his dad ever in his lifetime, that's a questionable one. So
I think the likes of West Ham, Leeds, even, possibly, who else we got?
probably Burnley as well.
Possibly Burnley, they'll all be looking at them in January.
I think if Burnley signed a Blackburn player,
that would be
different.
Marcelino Nunes levels of
exactly.
All I'm gonna say is Morris Johnson with Celtic and Rangers, if you were old enough to remember that.
Yeah, well, seeing those clips of that, forgot how that move was, where you go from a to one club like Celtic to Rangers. Yeah.
Exactly. So if they can do it, Burnley can do it to Blackburn. That's all I'm saying.
Well, we'll see. We'll
see. Let's get to the final game, and let's talk about the game at Fright Park. Bristol City winning 1-0 at Portsmouth. And like I said, again, it's now put Pompey in the relegation zone. And Annie, give you your perspective on that win yesterday at Fright Park.
Yeah, Mousinho said it after the game. The opening 25 minutes killed it and decided the game, and he's right. We were outstanding for 25 minutes. We were unbelievable. Played some brilliant football. Had 2 or 3 big opportunities to take the lead. Had ball in the back of the net that was offside. And when you have a player like Anis Mehmeti, who can just pop up with a goal from nowhere in the Championship, and just get a finish, get a ball on the left hand side, cut in, bend it in. You can do that. It's always a little bit easier. And you've got a bit of an X factor. So, yeah, Mehmeti's been brilliant this season. He's already got 12 goals contributions, which I think is one behind Brandon Thomas-Asante, who's been obviously outstanding. So, yeah, Anis is brilliant. Anis has been fantastic this season, and his contract expiring in the summer. So, sign that deal. Yeah, I thought Pompey for the first 25 minutes were terrible. They were appalling. They couldn't get any grip of the game. We swarmed all over them. We pressed well. We again knocked the ball about well. And what we did really well for the whole game was when we had the ball sort of in our own third and with Vitek, our goalkeeper, or with the centre backs, we sort of found a way to progress the ball as such that we created a transition moment. And despite it not being a counter-attack, we somehow found a way to make it into a counter-attack. And that, I think we did fantastically well. And that's where we thrive off, really. And that's what, when Struble ball works, when Gerhard Struble ball works, that's what it looks like. And that's what we're really benefiting off. Mehmeti with a nice headed goal. Pompey didn't really look like they were going to score at any point. There wasn't a sustained period of pressure apart from the last sort of 5 minutes where they had a lot of the ball. They kept knocking about, but wasn't that big chance at the end of it. Colby Bishop had a one-on-one where he was slipped in by who was it? Oh, I think it might have been Chaplin.
Connor Chaplin.
Yes, slipped in by Chaplin, and then Bishop had a one-on-one, but that was well smothered. Had a couple of set pieces. Josh Knight had a couple of headers which went wide. A couple of offside chances as well. So I thought we were relatively comfortable. Mehmeti had more chances to score. He had a one-on-one that was saved by Nicolas Chamid. We had opportunities on top of that. I think on the whole, considering an away game at Fratton Park where last season, we were smacked, absolutely rocketed at Fratton Park. It just felt like a typical Championship away game where you go, you start fast, and we do that a lot this season, particularly in the way we play. We start fast, score a goal, and just sort of control the game, and we did that, I think, really well without letting Pompey have too much sort of territory in the game, and it put us into the playoffs again. So, yeah, good win. That's 2 wins in 3, so 6-point week. That's always going to be a good return. And now we've got Millwall at home, which is already looking pretty important in terms of a big game into a playoff picture. So that's going to be a huge game for City, just a direction of where we're going. And if you look at our December fixtures, oh my God, it's pretty horrible. It's pretty make or break. You've got Millwall at home, you've got Leicester at home, and you've got Coventry away, and you've got Middlesbrough. You've got some difficult fixtures in there, but we're getting our players back. Jason Knight wasn't in the squad yesterday, but he's not injured. He's just been rested for this week coming up. Hopefully, likes of Mark Sykes fully fit. Maybe we see someone like Max Bird coming in during this run. We're getting our players back, and that is so vitally important to us. And I'm not getting too. I'm still pretty reasonable. We're in a good position. The league is tight. I know we've got a good squad. I think we realise we've got some good players. It's just about keeping that consistency up, keeping a lot of the players fit, and going on a run. Because, as I mentioned, this upcoming run of fixtures is going to be so important in terms of how what are our ambitions this season? What is our ceiling? What is our floor? What is our ceiling? That's what I think is going to really be determined by the end of this run, and up until about in a few weeks' time, I think.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Michael, what about Portsmouth at the moment? They're now in the bottom 3, and it's going to be so tight down there at the moment between them, and especially with Norwich winning this past weekend and Oxford as well. It's so much huge pressure for Pompey, especially their losing streak is really been on a downward spiral at the moment.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do have faith in John Messino because I remember Annie and me, I think, were talking about him back in the last season, or certainly the start of this one, that he's a really good manager for the jobs, the different type of jobs he's had to do at Portsmouth. So I think I still have faith they'll be okay, but it is and I suppose to be fair, Bristol City, obviously, this is the type of game you can lose. Bristol City right near the top of the division. We're within the top 6 picture. But as we mentioned earlier, when how Charlton have got to play Portsmouth and Swansea got to play Portsmouth have got to get something out, really ideally out at least one of the 2 away games between Charlton and Swansea. And then they've got Blackburn at home after that. So obviously Blackburn are good away, Derby away, QPR at home, and Charlton at home again. So it's a pretty big month for Charlton, I'd say, December-wise. Sorry, Charlton, Portsmouth. They need to make sure that they can get a good, healthy amount of points in there. But I do have belief. I believe that John Messino, it's like what Stefan, I'd imagine, was saying. If you're given the time, I think John Messina will turn it around and will end up getting them up the league, I think.
Yeah, absolutely as well. Absolutely as well. I think we'll now come to all the fixtures because buy one fixture because it's Monday Night Football tomorrow night between Birmingham City against Watford as well. So that'll be live on Sky Sports Football. But yeah, Judge, thank you very much as usual. Let's go through all the table itself as well. So Coventry City, still atop of the table with 43 points. Mill are now 2 points behind Middlesbrough, while they're the only other than the other team. Bristol City now moved up to 6th place with Hull. Ipswich now just behind them at a point as well. Wrexham and now just 3 points behind outside the playoffs as well. And then at the bottom of the half of the table, Portsmouth and Norwich. Portsmouth in the bottom three. Despite Norwich getting the win as well, they're only 3 points behind 21st place Swansea City. Oxford and Sheffield United were one of the biggest movers after they're now in 20th place, and Sheffield Wednesday is still on -4 points after after not losing this weekend at Portsmouth as well. So according to that, so let's look at the fixtures coming for next weekend as well in December as well. Monday the 1st of December tomorrow, which is Birmingham City against Watford tomorrow at 8 p.m. Then it is the rearranged fixture between Blackburn and Ipswich Town after the pitch was abandoned due to the waterlogged pitch as well. And then Friday night we have Hull City at home to Middlesbrough, and then Saturday got 3 12:30 kickoff games between Portsmouth and Charlton against Portsmouth. Derby County home to Leicester City, which is the East Midlands derby, which is a huge game. And Norwich City go away to Watford, and Blackburn against Sheffield Wednesday. Like Andy says, a big game between Bristol City and Millwall at Ashley Gate. Coventry go away to Pot Road to face Ipswich Town. Preston against Wrexham as well. West Brom go away to QPR. Sheffield at home to Stoke City as well. And a 3 o'clock kick between Southampton and Birmingham City. And the final game of the weekend, on that weekend, it's Swansea City against Oxford United as well. So yeah, really huge games on that one, gentlemen. But thank you for the three of you for joining me as usual. So appreciate that as well. And as I said, next weekend I won't be on, as I said, because I'll be working next weekend. So Andy and Michael will hold the fort while I'm off as well. But as I said, I should be back on the week after as well, because I'm not working next weekend leading up to Christmas yet. So what is going to happen with the Christmas stuff with the podcast the next couple of days is that myself and Doug are going to do some back-to-back 20 Premier League review podcasts. We're going to start. We should upload this weekend's fixtures on Tuesday, and then we should do the midweek fixtures on the roundup on Friday as well. So keep an eye on both of us on our channels as well. The championship, the Saturday show will be back on next Saturday, and it's around about 11 o'clock onwards as well, as I'm off as well. So yeah, got some stuff to do, and then the festive period as well. I should be doing we will be doing the championship review on around the Boxing Day, now the festive period weekend as well, which means that on the 28th, after Leeds play at Sunderland, we will have that as well at 8 p.m. as well. At least our kickoff is our game's a 2 o'clock game, Michael, so that's good for us anyway. So
yeah, that's going to be a fun one, isn't it? Right after the festivities of
the festivities. But we do have the day after Boxing Day, we have the Saturday show as well on the 27th as well. So yeah, keep an eye on all our content as well over the next few weeks as well. But yes, thank you for all of you joining us, and Stefan, thank you for joining us three as well. We'll have you on during the course of the season as well too.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely as well. But no, I feel I'll see you guys in the behind the stage as well. So thank you very much, guys. So that's, as I said, this is the end of the show. Thank you very much for everyone for messaging in as well in the chat as well. Please hit that like and subscribe button on the Total Leaving Home Football podcast as well. I really appreciate that. And also hit the hype button as well. The more you hype about it, the more we can do more content as well. But all you have a good week as well. We'll see you guys. Well, I will see you with the 20 in a couple of days' time, but I will see you guys in a fortnight's time. All you have a good weekend. Take it for now. It's goodbye for me.